Welcome to the MS&Me Radio Network. The broadcast shows are for informational and entertainment purposes only. They are not designed to provide listeners with specific personal, medical, or counseling advice. Individuals with a medical issue should always consult their healthcare provider. MS&Me is not responsible for content of individual shows. The views expressed by show hosts or their guests are their own. Enjoy the show.
Hey y'all, and welcome to Straight Up with MS and all its crazy little circles here on MS&Me Radio, brought to you by the MS Global Support Network. I almost got that wrong, but I remembered at the last second which order to go in. Because I was like, ugh. But I've been having those issues. I'm your host, Patty Long. And you can find me on Twitter at MSNit for Life, and I spell that MSENIT, the number 4, LIFE. And if you Google my name, you'll find my Twitter account. So that'll work too. Last week I was telling you about my pulled muscles in my legs and that I broke my arm and stuff because I was so stressed out and so angry, and that started this snowballing effect. Now, I think I made it sound more like it all occurred in 1 week and then I was all better, but it was really 3 weeks down before I could get up. And I think instead of missing one show, I missed 2 shows. And I don't always get those details right. And it's very frustrating when then I realize that I didn't get the details exactly right. And I'm doing better, but and I say I'm doing better. I am improving. Not only physically, but I'm also improving my cognitive skills. And that medicine that was leaving me with this shoestring drool of side effects that just kept getting longer and longer because I kept getting more and more of these nasty side effects, those side effects are still lingering on. And having those lingering on and also getting injured and being so stressed out that I did get injured because I just didn't pay attention. And then I thought, oh my gosh, I felt that. Let me try doing it like that on the other side. And I pulled the heck out of muscles. And this is something that really I should know better, because I've been doing this a long time, and I know what a slow process it is. And when I first realized that my feet were in the wrong position, which granted was too late for one leg, I never ever should have done the same thing on the other leg in trying to feel it. And I did it like another 30 times because that just pulled that muscle in my right leg that was so severely pulled in my left leg, but it also pulled more muscles. And I didn't realize, because I still don't feel things, that I had also pulled muscles in my right leg when I was doing it the first time with my left leg behind me, I think. Maybe it was in front of me. I don't remember which one was in front, but I had one foot in front of the other, and I did it 30 times that way. And then I thought, oh gosh, let's try it 30 times the other way and see if I can feel it. Well, we don't want to do that, y'all. And the truth is that injuries occur easily with people with MS, and they are harder to get over because our muscle connections are what we're trying to build up. And we do that through functional training like what I've got. And I call it my Reconnecting Connections program. And that's what I've been calling it for a long time, because it is about building new connections. It's about creating new connections to your body. It's all about the physical part of MS. And through doing that, you feel better. You get more energy. And, it's just a fact. If you look at somebody who runs 6 miles a day, and then all of a sudden they stop and they plop themselves in front of Netflix for a couple of months, do you really think they're going to be able to run 6 miles a day again? Right as soon as they decide to get up and do it? No, nobody would. So think of it like that. You're training. You're retraining everything about you to work in the way that you want it to. I've got a friend whose handle has in it, no, it's not her handle that has it in it. It's in her bio, where she says she would like to have some legs. Well, there's no reason why you can't. And this is something that I want to get across to people, because I really feel that there is no reason that you can't. And it doesn't matter what type of MS you have. MS is MS. Yes, there's differences pathologically, and we know that. So they are two distinct diseases. Progressive diseases are pathologically different from relapsing diseases. Now, I've been fortunate, very fortunate, that Tecfidera has had these things stopped. But at the same time, I don't know what's going on as far as brain shrinkage. And that's a question that I've had from my doctor, but yet he can't give me an answer because they don't have the fancy, expensive program. But I keep working at that too, so I hope I'm building it up the way I've built my body up. But back to the injury. It took me 3 weeks to stretch out those pulled muscles to where as soon as I sat down, they did not immediately tighten back up. And I mean, well, maybe not the very second I sat down and quit stretching. And I shouldn't say sat down, because sometimes my stretches were sitting down. A lot of them were done sitting down. So, or laying down. But the point is that when I first started with PT, I couldn't straighten my legs, either one of them. And it was really, really hard, and I had to push them down with my hands and body because I didn't have arm strength either. So just trying to push with my arm didn't work. But because I was flexible already before MS attacked me, and I was in good shape before MS attacked me, I did gymnastics with the kids at school and with the kids at home in the front yard, and I did all this stuff. So my flexibility was still there. So I was able to sort of fall over with my hand on my knee and kind of fall over to push it down. And that is how I pushed it down. And I did this with my foot against the wall. So as I pushed it down, my toes went back up. And this is what I did at home prior to going to physical therapy. So I start physical therapy, and they start teaching me things in proper ways. And my legs were still so tight that it felt like my skin was on too tight. That's how the muscles felt. I didn't feel the muscles inside. I felt the outside edges. And it was as if my skin was on too tight. And I don't know if y'all have had that feeling or not, but it is the oddest, creepiest feeling, and it's painful. It burns. So you don't want it. So you definitely want to do your stretching. But when I first started PT, it took years of stretching and practice to be able to walk and walk correctly and not look like a drunk when I walked. And I had the cruelest people in grocery stores and at little getting out of the car and going in to eat or whatever. People were so rude. They would pull their kids away from me like, I was this awful person. And my husband was so embarrassed that he never walked with me. He never walked with me. And apparently he's still embarrassed of me, because there's no telling what I might blurt out of my mouth. It just comes out. What I think comes out my mouth. And sometimes that's a really funny thing, and sometimes it's not, I guess. But some of it is just in how you choose to take what I say and whether or not you know who I am. And you would think that my husband would know these things, but apparently he still doesn't. So, but anyways, I basically live alone because he's gone each night, and I'm fine with that. I have my own life, separate, completely separate, and I have a blast with it. And I don't want you guys to give up on that sort of life. I mean, I never have. Now, I'm still married. And people say, well, why are you married when he does this? And I say, well, I have great insurance benefits. He takes care of the house, kind of, sort of. He does the basics. And if I want anything done as far as dusting, and which he does not consider a basic, then I need to do it myself. If I don't want to leave, if I don't want to live with a kitchen table full of junk mail, I need to throw it away. So I know what I need to do besides, on top of what he would do. And we don't spend a lot of time around each other since he's gone out with the boys most nights. So it works for me. And I have insurance. I have a safe environment to live in. There's no stairs whatsoever. I don't even have to go up a step to get into my house because my house is built on a cement pad. And I've got a great yard. I've got all this space around me and all these trees and this natural area. I used to have tons of critters, but my critters have been gone for a while because of all the people who moved in since I did 20 years ago, that have bought land. One guy bought a whole section, and he was a developer, and he built a neighborhood right behind me, so, and I say right behind me, but it's down a big hill. And where I live with all the hills is also really good for me because I can use those hills to my advantage now. It's great exercise going up and down hills. So that's, it's great. So I stay and I ignore to the best of my ability. But when I have bad things happen, then it starts to get to me. So it actually took me 3 weeks to stretch my legs out that time. But the first time, it took probably 2.5 years to get it together really well. And I don't want y'all to give up because, oh my gosh, giving up is is just not an option for me, obviously, because I have done this. And I hope that it's not something that you do. You know, you keep trying. My friend Lori, I talk about Lori a lot. I know she's got primary progressive MS. And I talked to her last night, and now I don't have my phone to read exactly what she said, but it took her 3 years just to be able to wiggle her toes. But you know what? Ever since then, she's been wiggling her toes. She's got primary progressive MS. Told it'll never happen. She was given the statistical analysis data that says and predicts your future. And this is what I want to get across now, because, and I know I'm very scattered because my brain is everywhere, but and I don't know why. I guess it's just still the extra stress that I have been under lately. And yet I keep on. And I want y'all to keep on, like Lori has kept on. And she has kept on since wiggling her toes. She takes Ocrevus. I'm not quite sure which way you say it, y'all. I usually see it written, but not spoken. So I'm not sure, because it's one of those days. And I've been working really hard on those cognitive skills, you know. So anyways, I put this up on Twitter just yesterday. I'm so proud of her. I am so, so proud of her. Not only, and she sent me a video like a year ago of her doing leg lifts. And I do leg lifts as well. And she was doing them, and I was so proud, you know, and it was a real struggle to do one. But I think her video showed several in a row, and I don't know how many. I don't remember how many in a row she was up to at that point. But, you know, you have to do it very slowly. You go along slow. You move slowly so you don't pull muscles and end up going backwards like I have. Because I've definitely gone backwards again. And see, all these backwards that I've been going all winter long is very depressing. It just kills my spirit sometimes. And when it kills my spirit, well, then you get no shows, you get a scattered me. You know, it affects me cognitively. It affects me emotionally, because I've allowed it to get to me that I have gone backwards yet again and again and again. So, back to Lori, because I'm still getting really distracted, y'all. I'm so proud of her. She is walking some now. And she is also driving a car again. The first time in so long. And today she's going to be driving all by herself, because when she practices driving, she has somebody else in the car with her just in case she needs somebody else to drive, right? Makes sense. That's what I did. So she practices. And with me, it was my son Cody who would ride with me. He didn't mind riding with me. And then he would take over if I got too tired. So that's kind of what she's been doing. And today will be her first time driving all by herself. Yay, Lori, you rock. You rock, you rock, you rock. But I myself am having to get a kickstart and restart. And I need to get my pedals out. My poor pedals have been sitting in a room that I don't want to go into, because it's such a disaster. And because I don't want to go into this disastrous room and see it, I haven't been pedaling. Now, is that not the worst thing ever? So, I need to go get my pedals out of that room. Spring has arrived. I can put my chair and I can put my pedals on the front porch again. And by doing so, I can get pedaling again, get some energy back, get my stamina back, because that's how I do it. I can get my muscles to not tighten up again in my legs, because I'm still having issues. They're just not bad issues. So once I stretch out, I'm usually stretched out for the day, unless I call it quits at 2:00 for an hour. Then then I got to stretch again. But if I don't, then it stays stretched out. And I went out Saturday to go have some fun. And I did. I had a lot of fun. Which brings me back around to how I embarrass my poor hubby. Aw, man. Now, he wasn't out there for this, but it would have embarrassed the crap out of him that I said it. And I would have gotten the eye roll, dirty look thing from him. But I thought it was funny afterwards, and so did everybody else. I plopped my butt down at a table, a picnic table, while I was out at a place called the Country Club. And this is hubby's hangout, and I usually don't go up there, but I chose to go this day because I do know a lot of people up there. So I saw my friend David at that table, and I decided to plop down next to him. And after I plopped down, I saw that my friend Stephanie was sitting right across from where I sat down at. Now, I did not know the other two people at the table. There was another couple at the table sitting on the other end. And the girl beside David, on the other side of him, she tells me that she really loves my hair and that she really likes it, just like she really likes her husband's hair, that she loved the gray in it. And I started laughing. I said, really? I said, because, most people are telling me, oh, you'd look 20 years younger if you'd dye your hair. And I tell them, well, my big thing is I'm a natural. I don't wear any makeup. I don't brush my hair because I'll knock myself in the head, but they don't know that. And I don't dye my hair. So I'm a natural. And I'm a natural drunk even, at times, because if I get tired, then yeah, I can have the same issues that people who are drunk have. And any of us can if we get really, really tired. So anyways, she's going on about how she likes my gray hair, and I'm getting a kick out of this. And she says, I wish mine would do that. Mine just doesn't look like that. And I looked around David and I said, but your hair is dyed. And I thought David was going to fall off the bench. I really did. He covered up his face. The whole 9 yards. He was laughing so hard. I look over at Stephanie, and she's like doubled over on top of the table laughing so hard, and her husband, when I looked at him, he was cracking up, and she had this really surprised face, look on her face, and says, well, yeah. But it was really hilarious. But these things just pop out of my mouth. There was no thought involved. It just popped right out. And there's no reason to be embarrassed by these things. Everybody took it right. It was funny. And then she said something else about my hair and about how great it looked. And I was telling her that I didn't really brush it. And she says, well, I don't either. And I looked at her and I said, really? And her husband's sitting there shaking his head up and down. Yeah, she brushes her hair a lot. But yeah, my reason is because I'll clonk myself in the head. I am still practicing. trying to touch my nose. I am still practicing trying to touch different parts of my head softly without my arm falling. So these are things that I still need to do because my arms were behind when I stopped therapy. My legs were better than my arms and better than my core. My core needs a lot of work again. My legs, everything needs a lot of work again. So I've got to commit myself. And that part's mind over matter as far as making that commitment to keep on trying with everything, including your cognitive skills and your emotional skills, including trying to find bright sides, to trying to find laughter, including all the things you do that are to be calming, that are considered your well-being. You know, we talk about wellness, and for the longest time I'm like, what the heck is that, you know? And there's all these new terms for finding your zen. there's all these new terms for it. And I find peace in the woods and with the birds singing and things like that. And I do my exercises usually outside because of that. And I've just got to make the commitment once again to get started and to do what I need to do. And to quit listening to the negativity and instead listen to the laughter from my friends. And you know who your friends are, and you know who the poisonous people are. So get rid of the poisonous people, or at least separate yourself from them, which is what I do with the one poisonous person still left. And I don't want to get rid of them exactly, but you know, I think about it sometimes. But no, I don't want a divorce. I would like to just go on and be a happy camper the way I have been. And that's the choice that I have made for me for right now. And, you know, push comes to shove, I may change my mind about that. But for now, that's the way it is. So we have to find our happy place. And once you find that happy place, try not to let anybody or anything pop your bubble. Just stay in it and keep working, guys. Oh my gosh, my time is up. Yay, of course. Yay, me. I can't keep track of time. Days turn into nights. Nights turns into days. Seconds turns into minutes, which turns into hours. You know, I have no sense of time. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble today, since that's all I've done. And remember to smile big, real big, and smile often, and laugh a whole lot. And most importantly, love yourself, including your wacky and messed up parts. Thanks, guys. Bye.